Good morning. How are you? Today, I'm very happy to have Dr. Wan Chu with us. He's a scholar in linguistic, Buddhism, and social language. Currently, he resides in England, and very, very happy to have this chance to be able to converse with him. At the same time, we also have Hannah here. You have already familiar with her. She is an artist and yoga teacher, and also she loves astrology. Yeah. So, Dr. Wan Chu, I'm curious because I know that Bhutan, you originally from Bhutan, and you were live Buddha there too, and your son. So, and I know that Bhutan has the highest happiness index as a country. Can you talk a little bit about that? Is it because of the Buddhism? I see that over 80% of the people in that country, they are Buddhists.
Oh, okay. So good morning, and thank you so much, Ying and Hannah, for having me today. So I'm very much first time on recording, and I love to become YouTuber. So I just started learning the ABC of recording YouTube or be YouTuber. Yes, yeah, Bhutan. So we believe we call gross national happiness. It's called GNH, the word, and the meaning of the word, the philosophy. So first, like invented or introduced or coined by our great fourth king, Jigme Sengye Wangchuk. So long time back. So we actually follow the philosophy of gross national happiness rather than gross domestic product, GDP, because Bhutan is a country, so it's kind of a landlocked country and also purely Buddhist country since like beginning of 7th or 8th century. So introduced by Guru Padmasambhava and other like so many saints and scholars. So came to Bhutan, and so deeply, yeah, it is, as you say, it is deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy. So everything based the philosophy, so everything based on interdependent. So it's just Hannah said before. So everything is like coexistent or interdependent, like there's no zero, no one, no one, no zero, something like that. And also, so we have so many indicators actually. We have like 4 major pillars. So to understand the real meaning of gross national happiness, like culture or good governance, and also environment. So sustainable sustainable development, something like that. There are 4 major pillars, and also we got I don't know, I can't remember exactly. Actually, I did a short presentation in Witten College as well, but I forgot now, so I can't remember exactly. We got more than 100 indicators. So so how to establish gross national happiness and what is gross national happiness, how to achieve gross national happiness, like from the grassroots level, not only high level people or rich people. So, and also we make we also like make a smaller gap, so between rich and poor. So so therefore, so we everything everything is based on Buddhist philosophy or Buddhism, like compassion or love or something like that, like Christianity, love your neighbors or love your people or love your parents, your children, your relatives, your neighbors, something like that. So everything based on love, compassion, and impartiality, or same level. So no gap between rich and poor, on help other people. And also the main thing is contentment. So you have to satisfy or limited desire, So just have to satisfy whatever you have at the moment. You just have to enjoy your present moment. So not like recalling your past or again you're inviting your future. Just enjoy your present moment. Whatever you have, just enjoy your life. Not like if you have a kind of like a Mercedes car, and then again your desire grows more. Again, you want another like what do we call Range Rover, or then helicopter, then airplane, not like that. So, but whatever you have, just enjoy it. You are satisfied. So, main
living
thing
in the moment, living in the moment.
that's the main point of I think gross national happiness. Just happy with small things, simple life. Lead simple life.
Simple life.
Yeah. That's very different than here in the US. We're always yearning for the next thing, like you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very different. Yeah. Over here, even in school, the kids, I was very, very surprised actually from the time of, in elementary school, the kids are being taught about, efficiency of, about money, about the strive of, like what is called a success of, making money, becoming successful, becoming industrial, and very, very different, just not like what you are saying, it's not like from a grassroots, based upon of about people's contentment and just be content with whatever that we have and be happy and it's so different, totally opposite. Yeah.
And it's right. It becomes very ingrained in us, like I consider myself maybe a more spiritual person than average, but I'm still constantly feeling myself yearning for more, like wanting more, and it's just in my brain. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's mainly the nature of the human mind, conventional mind, not the ultimate mind, and also mainly it depends on your surroundings, your environment, your society,
the social pressure, right?
A special one, and also you also then go for you have you are in then you what do we say? You get more desire.
Like kids over here, the kids, they just really get unlimited pressure. It's kind of because of how the way that they grow up, what implanted in them, that what is success, having a successful job, how much money, you're making at your job. And so these kind of pressure, it's just kind of like it's there, even though, right, just like Hannah is saying, she is much more spiritual, but it still is that, you can feel off that pressure, it just comes to your head, sometimes the head gets entangled in that,
Also because like, how else do you live in this society, right? Like,
yes,
because people have to make money, so it's like it has to be that way. Even if you talk to people about like, oh, how do you be an artist, how do you like, it's not just you wake up and you make your art. It's always, this is how you can eventually monetize. This is how you can make what you love into what you can make money from, because you have to, right? If we didn't have to, then there wouldn't be that pressure.
Yeah, because you have to pay for food, you have to live at a place, you have to pay rent, and then also is that, for example, one of the biggest thing, and I think that people living in this country, they are not realizing, is that transportation, public transportation is so behind, in a developed country like this. So once a region, let's say a major, employer moved, and not in business anymore, or let's say their industry, is not the current, main industry anymore, then people that are stuck in this region, just because they don't have good public transportation, then they just literally become, like not able to self-sustain, because, they can't even afford to get a car to travel to another city that's 40 minutes away to work, So I see so many, big cities, that near me, that becomes like this, just because of the industry is out of the turn. And then these people, they are stuck in this city, and then this city just runs down, graffitis all over the place, drug all over the place, fight all over the place, This is a reality, right? So the pressure, it's humongous, for people that forced into this condition. Partially it's because of that, the social. I know that, you are in a social, linguistic, and this is actually part of the socialist, society, social environment, which
everything has to do with the community.
Because the country do not invest in public transportation. If you have a high-speed train, 45 minutes drive on a high-speed train is 10-15 minutes, and you can go and work. You can go anywhere within 2 hours of a drive to work with no problem and no pressure, Yeah.
But I think the important thing, like, if we took a question from all of that, right, it's like, how do you live in a society that you need money to survive, but at the same time, can you have trust in the universe that if you do what you love, or if you do, this is a privileged question, of course, but if you do want to do what you love and make money from that, like, can you trust? Like, do you have to actually be as stressed and as self-involved as society really tries to tell you to be, right?
Yeah. So actually, it's very interesting. I did a little bit exploration, especially in young people group who actually for the last few years, they kind of just woke up, from their old environment of stressed out, Some of them are even very, very depressed, So what happened is that, so even though, like, for example, there's some young people, they actually already reach a very successful position as, let's say, becoming the director, of some organization, right? But, they just not happy of what they are doing, right? So they become depressed, but at some point they woke up, And then what I have found is that, what they are doing now is that they quit their job, and they let their success go, And then they, for example, they also studied art, They began to go back and do their art that they love. And then at the same time, they get on a platform of YouTube. They share their awakening experiences with others, and a lot of the time they talk about, non-duality, and that's what they like to do, right? Through that, they connect with other people. There's so many like-kind of people, like, who are like them, right? And so they interact with these people. And then also I notice what they do is that, every week, they hold like sessions where people can get on the Zoom. They can ask questions, with them. They discuss of what they all commonly, kind of experiencing. And then at the same time, they also share, some of the things they have been kind of paying attention to, like Buddhism, non-duality, spirituality. another is that like they actually also is that they actually put themselves out there for hire, you know, to go to other people's home, because there's a lot of people actually exploring of spirituality, but you know, like they already going on that direction, but they have not kind of like really figured out, like they actually kind of a little bit lost, but they are on the right direction, right? So what they do is that they will invite people like this and coming to talk with them, to kind of hold their hand a little bit, you know, on their path of seeking, you know, the truth and the universe and all of that. So I did actually spend about, you know, several months kind of checking out of a group of people, you know, like on YouTube, you know, and so even though, like I said, some of those, you know, they have already becoming very successful, but they really didn't like it. But also there's, for example, there's another person that I followed, I find out was that she also is an artist, you know, she's not like, say, a professional artist. She hasn't been to education in art, but she loves art. So what she does is that she just uses a color and a brush to express of her experiences, you know, her spiritual experience, you know. Yeah.
I don't think that spirituality is necessarily the answer. Like I actually think I think that what Dr. Wangchuk was saying about Bhutan's happiness, it really is like, how present can you be? Like I think actually mindfulness is more the answer than spirituality. Because
yes. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, Buddhism, so it doesn't mean that so you have to shun or you have to leave everything behind, your wealth, your car, your money. So you need it, you know. Because if I go to London, so I need money, so I need everything, so many laptops, so many things. So I need everything, whatever other people are having. But the main thing is, as Hannah said, mindfulness. So you have to awareness, and also, you know, the master Telopa advised to his disciple Naropa, Bu Nawe Marching Shembeshing Shemba Pongshi Naropa. So he said to his hard son, his disciple, so just give up everything means it doesn't mean that you have to leave everything behind and you just go in the forest or in the town or in the public everywhere, just like that. So you need everything. So whatever you have, so according to the society, community, or situation, or time, space, everything. But Shemba Pongshinaropa means, so be aware yourself, you are doing, and also attachment. The main thing is, just be aware that not too much attachment, not too much attached to your thing. So that's why, for example, if you have a very nice and very expensive car, so if somebody burn your car, and then some people, if you have a very strong attachment, no, then you're going to go mad.
Yes.
Have this kind of awareness or mindfulness. Okay, no problem. It's impermanent. It's impermanent, you know. No, you can get another one. Yeah. So this is the main philosophy I think you have to apply. So it's kind of gross national happiness. Yeah. So you are happy, no? You are happy. So if you have things, you are happy. But some people, so you have so many things, you are rich, you are wealthy, but no happiness.
Yes.
Then so many problems arising from 10 directions. Something happened there, something happened down there. Yeah, you lost something, or break something down, or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. So take care.
I think that my question would be like, how, let's say when somebody's in the process of getting the things that they need to be in society and have, enough, right, that they can easily maneuver society. When you're in that process, how do you best maintain a sense of presence? Like, let's say you're already wealthy, right? It's a lot easier to, build some sense of happiness and presence in your life, right? But what I see usually is people will either be very happy in a poor, when they're poor or something, or they'll be very happy when they're wealthy because they've done work on themselves. But this process can be hard, like how can people sort of maintain that while still working hard to get those things? Yeah.
That's all about your wants, And I think the main thing is, so you have to ponder in the thing, happiness. So from where does this happiness arises? Is it within yourself, or is it from the thing, like from the car or from the whatever building? So yeah, if you analyze it, if you ponder into these things, and then maybe you realize that, oh no, happiness doesn't come from the outer things, physical things. So just arises also within yourself, within your mind. And then if you have so many things, if you are rich, if you have so many extra things, well, you are happy. And if you don't have anything also, you are happy. So you have to, I think, balance, just balancing the things, whether you have it or not, whether you have so many things or not, so whether you own something or not, but so your mind is on the same level. You're just happy.
So it is really something coming from deep inside.
Yeah, deep inside.
Really
I think you
is it deep inside?
You also need some kind of fundamental or preliminary practice, something like that. Yeah.
Is it deep inside though, or is it actually just perception?
From deep inside, yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay, so what is the thing, right? Like, is it
somebody's ringing my door?
Oh, okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah, please. Yeah. Go ahead. So, okay. So let's talk about this feeling of happiness coming from deep inside. Yeah.
My question.
I think that, it's kind of like hard to really describe in many ways, because, unless that, for example, let's say somebody who does have, okay, right, doesn't really need to worry about it. But I think that the person does not really actually come to realization that actually how much is deep inside. It's their natural. It's like their nature. It's their innate nature of being happy until that they are actually facing losses,
Right.
And at that time, so let's say, I'll just take an example, let's say that, you deeply, really love of someone, right? But then one day you suddenly realize, that the person has all along been behind you and cheated you, okay? At that point, suddenly it's like, basically, it could be a feeling. It's like as if you were, in the sky high, in the cloud, right? You felt, you are being loved, you have a person that you love. But then suddenly you realize, I literally actually know someone, one day she came home, and her husband saying that, I have already my things all packed up, I'm moving out because, I have been actually having a close relationship with this young lady for the last whoever years. But the wife never knew about that, right? I think a moment like that, that's the moment that a person, whether this person deep inside actually knowing herself and just naturally, innately in her nature that knowing all of these things, they are just external things. And they, at that moment, they will see their innate nature. And that's where I think that, that's what I think the Buddhists, they call, the innate nature, the self nature. That is your self nature. And actually, these kind of moments, you can even see the light of self nature that coming as if that self nature, that light coming from deep inside you, and I think that's real. That is real happiness. That is real strength,
Yeah.
But this innate nature, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like, let's say this innate nature. So, okay, let's say, like, what is it about it that makes you happy, right? Like, yes, I believe that, yes, there's this innate nature that is untouchable, right?
Yeah.
But what exactly, like, you're talking about, okay, you're in a situation where external things are torn from you, but you have yourself, so you're fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And
that doesn't equate happiness, though.
No.
Just,
Look,
my
this is what it is. Actually, you know what? In many ways, that's equated to happiness. The reason for that is that even though maybe momentarily you felt as if there's a storm that came upon you, right? But then when you see that the self nature, that light rises up, that from within you, and you know that, to you, there's not much difference. Whether this person is moving out of the house or not, whether this person is cheating behind you or not, you know that it does not affect you. You know that. And that's that awareness and that knowing.
It doesn't affect you.
You are happy because it does not really affect you.
And that's actually more of a sense of trust. That's actually more of a sense of feeling like this foundation is always there, feeling a sense of security, or like
you kind of knowing who you are. That's the key. Like you really know who you are. You are that unlimited, untouchable, that's what the self nature is. And that's how I feel,
But then what is your definition of happiness here? Because
happiness is, I think, is that it's that, just like you are saying, it's that the trust of that you are there all the time. You are present. You are there all the time. You're not being.
What if other people's definition of happiness is different?
Oh yeah, of course. Every person's happiness is different.
Yeah. Depends on the level of their understanding, their realizations, and their practice, and also the kind of their philosophies. Yeah. So I think it varies.
And people's level of or people's idea of happiness actually most oftentimes will be shaped by their experiences and conditionings as a human throughout their lifetime, right? Like some people may grow up in situations where, let's say, their parents aren't happy together, and so then they equate happiness to, being happily married or something, right? Like I feel like a lot of people, let's say, if I don't want to call people unrealized or not, but a lot of people will shift that through their life just based on those preconceptions.
Yes, of course.
Conditions, yeah, they are outer conditions.
Yeah, yes, of course. But I think that's okay because, that is all part of being human, that's all part of a human experience. You come, it's you through these experiences, through this process that they grow, it's part of just being human, it's all right. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, if I think about it, I think a lot of my happiness is based in the security of knowing that every single one of our souls is just going to go through what it needs to go through, right? So it's that sort of idea of like, it's okay if your idea of happiness changes. That's very much like you're in like surface level brain land, right? Like that's okay. And that's part of what your soul has to go through in this lifetime just to do what it needs to do, like, and so for me, it's like the same thing of what you're talking about essentially is, oh, there's a trust, there's a foundation in knowing that these things are just gonna move how they're gonna move, and that's fine.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that, that it's really, really, I think that people can really, really appreciate when a country, like the viewing of the happiness index as their most important thing to strive for. And I think in many ways, definitely it creates probably a much, much more stabilized society.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, like, and I feel like living in the United States, there's like everything becomes compartmentalized because of what our society strives for. It's like, okay, I have to make money, I have to make X amount of money just to live. And then on the other hand, I'm going to work on my happiness on the side, right? Like I'm going like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so I can live a happy life and cope with what's going on the other side of my life. I'm going to try and be happy instead of this idea of how important our happiness is, how important it is to feel okay all the time, like there's a lot of lack of emotional regulation in our country because it's really hard to feel okay all the time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually is that I myself, long time ago, when the kids were just born, I really, to me, of being happy was more important to me than, like staying at the job, That's why actually I quit my job when our son was only 3.5 years old. And because I want to spend the time, with the children. But the thing is that a lot of the time things, they are not going the way as you thought,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
And like in my case, even though I quit my job, but still I end up actually did not, not able to spend a lot of time with the kids, just because of various kinds of circumstances and all of that. So sometimes I think the kind of life that we go through is not necessarily, even though, we have such a desire, even though we put this as a priority in our life, but it does not mean that how everything would work out the way it is. Like, for example, in my case, I felt like I had some essential fear. The fear about, this society that I was dropped in, from China, which is very different, I had a lot of these kind of fear that was in the way. And fear definitely does not, will go, the way along very well with someone like me, even though I was seeking happiness,
Yeah, same thing happened to me when I came to the UK first time. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Culture shock and so many different situations.
Uh-huh.
So
yeah. But you
like,
raise up your son, right? You
yeah.
raise your son. Mm-hmm. And your son is is a live Buddha, and he's growing very, very well,
Very, very, yeah. Grow very fast, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it's like how attached are we to the outcomes, right? Like how attached are we to very specific outcomes?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're going to trust this path that we're on, then can you really place yourself into very specific ideas of what's going to happen next, or what success will be, or how it'll be, or like there are just so many things that we attach ourselves to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes we have to foresee so what is going to come ahead of you. So yeah, and then you can resist. So
yes. So yeah, for me was that I really actually throughout of my own experience and the process I have gone through, I really come to realization is that, it is not, like when we desire, like for example, I wanted to be home and be, with my children and want to, I put a happiness more important than, being at work, being a successful woman, being, earning money and all of that. But, things don't really actually go the way that you wanted. In many ways, I really felt that we had no control. It was more of really when I began to actually let go of this idea that I actually able to really say through my own strengths or through my own striving that I would achieve this happiness. No, it's absolutely not. When I began to let this go and then just go along with really how the universe arranged for you and just develop that trust, that developing of that trust, that believing everything will be okay, and then really actually set, of just the unknown, like having peace with unknown, and just accepting the unknown, and let go of like because the brain always wants to know about everything. But actually, we are not able to know everything. Everything is so unpredictable, And so when you let go of that, then it really becomes ease and then peaceful, and then that, and actually you begin to feel you are one. And that is really when you feel like you are becoming one with the universe. And that was the time then you begin to really feel being in peace and being happy and satisfied and being content.
Yeah. But I think when you're living your human life, you could be, I mean, this may not be true for, like real Buddhas and stuff, but you could be as self-aware as you possibly could be. And I feel like you'll still be blind, like I feel, and that's really where this like trust comes in,
yes.
Like you will make mistakes, you will, whatever mistakes are, like you will end up in situations that are crazy or whatever.
Yes.
And that just is what it is. Like it's okay. Yeah.
That's right. That is okay.
Just time matters, no? It just moves on. So it passes through.
Yeah, and you can't do this thing correctly. Like as correctly as you want to be, as perfectionistic as you want to be, you can't do it like
you just have to be mindful.
Yeah.
And you just have to be ready, whatever you face, no? Whatever situation you're going to face.
But it's also like with the happiness thing, it's like even in the face of all these things, by being mindful, does that like that allows you to be happy and present, right? That allows you to be grateful for the things in your presence and be okay. You know?
At least, it helps to set up
the
point. Not like 100, not even like 100%, but helps to some point.
Yes.
I think that mindfulness is a very like I like to think about it as like a very selfish habit.
Yes.
Because it is really for your own happiness, right? Like it is really like I'm saving myself.
Indirectly, everything is like that, yeah. You always say bodhisattva, you have to be bodhisattva, you have to do good things to others. So indirectly, it's like kind of politics. You're using but indirectly, so it benefits you. So you do good others to others, and then so you get a good merit, so good fortune. You are accumulating good fortune. So indirectly, so you are getting so good things, no, by doing good to others.
Yeah.
It's very much like politics, no?
Yeah, I know. That is true, actually. I know.
Yeah.
I always think about it like because I will typically care more about myself than other people. I will typically like think, okay, well, if I'm taking care of myself, that makes me a lot better apt to be around people.
Yes,
That
we
makes me
have
a
a
lot.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a saying in the so Buddhist thing, proverbs, like kind of proverb, you know, so kind of like your root teacher or your root guru is very important, but you are more important than your root guru. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your health, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Only
need
when
good health.
we
You
give
have to be in
good
good situation. So you have to be in with a good health. So you have to be very strong. So to benefit others or
Yeah,
to
you can't give. Yeah.
otherwise you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. To be able to give to others,
Yeah.
first we need to take a good care of ourselves. And then, when we are doing good things for others, we are not from that seeking of anything, then that's the time that we can really do well, to nurture others and help others. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I think that, we've been talking almost an hour. So
Yeah, that's
maybe
good.
this time we stop here. And thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you so much.
Mansu.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is
Yeah.
just starting. So we need to do more.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Do piles and piles of YouTubes. Yeah. Thank you so much. So
Thank you very much.
stay in the USA. So have a good day.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You too.
Thank you,
you.
Hannah.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
Thank
much,
you.
Anna and Yi. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.